Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our Sunday meditation. My name is Grace McManus. I'm one of the practitioners at the Center for Spiritual Living. And, I was talking with Jackson briefly about the fact that we have a spiritual leader for the Centers for Spiritual Living, whose name is Edward Villon. I don't know how many of you know who he is, but he has an important position. He's actually a minister up in Santa Rosa, California, but he also offers spiritual direction for the entire movement. And right now he's doing something called daily devotionals on Facebook. And I know a lot of you like to go into meditation right away and maybe hear like a little brief description of a place to take you into meditation, but he's doing an absolutely wonderful job on this, and I recommend that you check it out on Facebook. It's every single day there's a different message. And he's taking the messages from The Science of Mind, 365, The Science of Mind. This is this book. It's a year of daily wisdom from Ernest Holmes. And I think it's so important for us to get in touch with the person who founded this movement and what his writings were like. And so most of it is based on the Christian tradition. It's coming from Christianity because that's who his audience was initially. He was talking to people who were coming out of the different Christian faiths. So what I'm going to do today is read the devotional that he did for yesterday. I really liked it, and it's entitled Human Relations. Now, how important is that today in our world? Because everywhere we go, there's a sign of conflict. In fact, Edward Villon said that we really need to practice what the truth is of this movement, and that is that we have the ability to change our consciousness, to change our thought processes, and that if we practice that every single day, we get that message of what the truth is around what the idea is that Ernest Holmes was trying to present to us. So I'm going to read for about 5 minutes, and then we'll do maybe 5-6 minutes or 10 minutes or so of quiet contemplation. These are more in the line of contemplation versus meditation. So just take a few minutes to sit quietly in your seats as I read the passage. It's going to be a little hard because I have to hold the book. Okay. The title is Human Relations. There is one spirit incarnated in everyone, an immortal presence forever expanding everything, causing everything to grow. What a difference it would make in our human relations if we try to sense the meaning of this divine incarnation in all people and adjust our viewpoint to the truth that all are bound together in the unity of God. While it is true, as the scripture says, and he's referring to biblical scriptures, that now we see through a glass darkly, there still is hidden within each one the cause of all life, all aspiration, and all faith. Now that glass darkly is a metaphor. It's for the confusion that sometimes is in our brains, in our minds, the constant thoughts that pass through our brains, that we don't see clearly how we are all totally divinely connected. That's what he's referring to. We are so used to thinking of ourselves as separate from one another that we suspect that very feeling and emotion that causes us to embrace everything in love. And that's God. God is that love. The one who loves the most will live the most. We meet each other only in fragments, only partially, in a miserly way, when we refuse to open the whole avenue of our consciousness to the realization that there is but one living spirit. There is only God. There is only God. And that is that spirit. If our human relations are to mean the most to us, we must sense that there is hidden within, around, and through each of us a divine presence manifesting itself in infinite variations. The same impulse, the same love and life, but never quite alike in any two persons. Never quite alike in any two persons. Today, I'm going to meet each experience as I feel it really is. I will endeavor to see the divine presence in everything. I am demanding of myself that I see and sense and feel the one life that flows through all things. I affirm this presence and accept its beneficent action because it already is. As I go forth today and embark on the wonderful experience of living, I am on a journey of self-discovery and also of the discovery of the self hidden in everyone and the power in back of everything. Remember that saying, there is a power greater than us, and we can use it. That's what he's referring to. So I want you to take a moment. I'm going to read the scripture. It comes from John 17:21. And this is from the Bible, actually. That they all may be one, as thou, Father, art in me, and I in thee, that they all may be one in us. So I want you to take a few minutes just to contemplate this idea of the divine presence within everyone and everything, even things that we don't consider to have life, that God is there somehow. And I will remind you when to come back into the room as we end this meditation. may begin to bring your body and your mind back into the sanctuary. Move any part of your body that needs movement. As we summarize the message for today, to remember that we are one, that there is no separation between us and everything else. And I know it is so. And so it is. Namaste, and thank you everybody for attending today.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Nina Rochette, your board treasurer. I get to do the announcements today. Woo. There's a lot of them. That's good. So the guest speaker this week is Reverend Dr. Betty Henderson. Her topic is, "Hello, there is no one right now, but if you leave your name." Yeah. Next week's guest speaker is Hazel Bowman. Her topic is, "To be or not to be?" Is that really a question? On March 20th, our interim minister, Rev. Kath DePalma, will speak on So Happy Together. On March 27th, brings us to John Haas with his topic of Spring, a Season of Spiritual Growth. Now to the other things. Okay. Sound meditation and a healing is offered every month on the second Saturday at 1 o'clock, and the next date is March 12th. I was looking to see, is that coming up? Very soon, I'm sure. The next is Swami is providing a meditation on the fourth Monday of each month. The next one is scheduled for March 28th from 6 p.m. to 7:15 p.m. And then, of course, we have every Monday meditation with John Haas and Jackson Roush. That's at noon on Facebook. Love and Light is not meeting this month. They will reconvene the first Monday in April. The Writers' Circle, March 12th, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Whew, I'm getting there. Science of Mind magazine discussion circle every Tuesday at 6 on Zoom. And the Women's Support Circle will now be meeting twice a month, the first and third Thursday at 6 p.m. And then that leaves me to, wait, I have to step back and change hats. So again, I am Nina, and I stand before you this morning not as your board treasurer, but as a fellow member looking to express my inner art creation. Woohoo. I am starting a new circle called Spiritual Art Expression. This circle will meet on the first Wednesday of every month from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. here at the center. We will do a reading from the Science of Mind textbook or the Science of Mind magazine to get us ready for the creative process to begin. Materials will be provided, and the main goal is to bring spirit to the room, to shine our light and express our feelings through the world of art. Please join us. Thank you.
Thank you. I also want to make a little announcement about needing a little help with regard to some of the activities that we have. So I've been sponsoring the satsang and also the sound meditation, and there are times when I won't be able to be there. So if anyone plans on attending, we do collect some donations, and they have to be deposited in the office. And you can speak to me after the service if you're interested in doing that. So let's take a moment now for our invocation. So an invocation is a time when we call forth that divine essence, that divine spirit that some of us call God, some of us call mind or consciousness. Take a moment now to breathe deeply and while you are seated as I speak. So I know and I recognize that we are all just one, that there is no separation from us. And as we talk about dealing with our human relations, let us remember that no matter what the appearance may be on the outside, we are all still one. And I know that I am one with that, and so is everyone that we come in contact with. And I express my gratitude for the opportunity to serve today and for all the people who are involved in this service, be it musicians, people who sign, hospitality, and much, much more. So with gratitude, I release this into the law, and I say, and so it is.
I love that he does that work for me. So one thing I love about our center, oh, I like that too. But one thing I like about our center is that the lessons come immediately. Today's song, our first song is called All Is Well and Unfolding as It Should. And as soon as I told Clay that's what we were going to do today, this microphone stopped working. And I said to myself, Self, you got to figure out what's wrong with this mic. So I got up and started walking, and because I wear size 14 shoes, I hit the mic stand and knocked the mic over, which I thought was everything not turning out as it should. But can you guess what happened? Kicking the mic over fixed the mic. So the proof here, ladies and gentlemen, no matter what it seems to be in the present, and unfolding exactly as it should. Sing this with me. Well, I'm not worried about tomorrow. Today I declare freedom from yesterday's mistakes of the past. But today all things are made brand new, and it feels so good. All is well. Change my reality by changing my mind. Peace, joy, and happiness was and is mine. But I'm in love, so are you. It feels so good to know that all is well. Well, all is well. All is well. Divine Spirit is directing me right now. Well, all is well. All is well. In the Spirit, my faith, but it is mine. I am one with all that is. My soul is free from time. I am blessed, and so are you. And it feels so good to know that all is well. All is well. All is well. Divine Spirit is directing me right now. Can't hear you. We're gonna say it all day now. Well, that's not exactly true, but we're gonna do it.
All right. Yeah, that was awesome. All is well. Say that with me one more time. All is well. And it is going to beautifully unfold today. I am Diane Gazelle, one of the licensed practitioners here at the Center for Spiritual Living. I'm the service leader today. And it is my honor, joy, and privilege to welcome all of you here to the Center for Spiritual Living Prescott. here, and I have to look at my notes, where we provide spiritual tools to make this world a better place. Wherever you are, wherever you've been, whatever self-judgments you may have about yourself, you are entirely welcome here today. And it's important to know that when you have trouble remembering that for yourself, we have a circle of licensed practitioners here who will help you remember that. We do one-on-one sessions. Our cards are in the back at Sibley Hall, or you can just ask somebody who the licensed practitioners are. After this service today, we do what's called a 3-minute miracle. So if you just wish a prayer here today, just stay in the sanctuary. After everyone's left, there will be practitioners waiting for you up front. Also, we do the ministry of prayer. The practitioners meet on Monday mornings and go over any prayer requests for the week. If you wish a prayer request, there are purple forms in the backs of the seats and in a pocket that you fill out. And one of the things that if the prayer is for yourself, you indicate that. If the prayer is for someone else, you need to let us know that you have permission for that, from that person, for the prayer. Like if you're Sally and you want a new puppy and the prayer is for Ken, you don't necessarily want to say, because maybe Ken doesn't want the new puppy, and thank you for letting me pick on you. However, I knew I dared do that. Anyway, okay, so it is now time for us to do our candle lighting service, our candle lighting ceremony. This is a way to acknowledge the many paths connecting with our oneness. The Center for Spiritual Living honors all faith traditions. As we light a candle for the world's religions, it is to acknowledge both our multiplicity and our unity.
We light a candle for Christianity, based on the teachings of Jesus the Christ, who taught the path of love, forgiveness, and the healing by the presence within.
For Islam, the practice of submitting to the will of God, as revealed to his prophets, peace be upon them, who taught that there is one God, creator of the heaven and earth.
For Judaism, a community of shared laws, traditions, and family ties, which began with the covenant between Abraham and God.
For Buddhism, the middle path that ends suffering and awakens mindfulness and compassion.
For Hinduism, the path of knowledge, action, and devotion.
For Native American traditions and those who walk the Good Red Road, including the people of the sun, better known as the Yavapai.
For the Baha'i, the path of unity and peace.
For the goddess traditions, embracing the divine feminine as maiden, mother, and crone.
And for the science of mind, which is the philosophy of life that teaches there is a power for good in the universe, and we can use it.
Thank you so much. And now we have our affirmation that we can all say together. We are here for God. Our purpose is to express the nature of God as love, abundance, and joy in everything we do. The good we seek for ourselves is what we desire for all people everywhere.
this song by the Alternate Roots called Nothing More. And I know it's new for a lot of y'all. I'll quickly show you how it goes and then join in, okay? I'll take that as a absolutely. It goes like this, it goes. I'll sing it first and then you can sing, or we'll do it together. To be humble, to be kind. To be humble, to be kind. And I go. It is the giving of the peace in your mind. It is the giving of the peace in your mind. To a stranger, to a friend, all together now. To a stranger, to a friend. To give in such a way that has no end. To give in such a way that has no end. Now we're going to do this song from the top because you all sound so good. To be humble, to be kind. It is the giving of the peace in your mind. To a stranger, to a friend. To give in such a way that has no end. We are love. We are one. We are how we treat each other when the day is done. We are peace. We are war. We are how we treat each other, nothing more. To be bold, to be brave. It is the thinking that I need to be saved. But the darkness can come quick. The danger in the anger and the holding on to. We are love. We are one. We are how we treat each other when the day is done. We are peace. We are war. We are how we treat each other, nothing more. We are love. We are one. We are how we treat each other when the day is done. We are peace. We are war. We are how we treat each other, nothing more. We are how we treat each other, nothing more. We are how we treat each other, nothing more.
Thank you, Jackson. We are how we treat each other, nothing more. The Dalai Lama says that kindness is his religion. It is how we react and we speak to and think about others and ourselves. So let's try to remember that thought as we go into a short meditation. You may close your eyes if you wish. So I end with a quote from Maya Angelou, who was a famous poet laureate. You may know her. And her famous words were, "People will not remember what you did for a living, or what you owned, or what you were famous for, but they will remember how you treated them." Thank you.
So my birthday was yesterday. And I said, you know what, it's my birthday, I'm gonna give myself a present. I'm the soloist today. And so it is. Actually, I got a night, Clay, our beloved sound god back there, gave me an idea of a song I really wanted to do. So I'm gonna do that a little bit later, but first I'm gonna do this one. And I just realized I just passed the place where this song came to me. Now there's a lot of great songwriters in this movement. I would put Dan Stein on that list. I would put Darius Lux on that list. I would put Daniel Nabond on that list, and many more. Ricky Byers Beckwith, for sure, is another one. I'm not much of a songwriter. Just when a song comes, it comes really fast, and I'm like, well, that must be done. So I get these really quick, and then I just leave them alone. But this was one of the songs that, when I first came here, my first time here, and I saw the candle lighting and all that, this thing, a lot of people are first attracted to that candle lighting ceremony. But as I learned more about this, I realized that I was already practicing science of mind. I just didn't know it yet. And this is a song that I wrote to myself in a time of trouble, reminding me of the future. And you might as well start to appreciate the positive future now. So this song, I don't even know what it's called. Oh yeah. I use the word God in here, just because it seemed like the right word for me. But whether it's love, truth, whatever you want to put in there. So it seems that you're still in doubt. You're looking like there's no way out of these blues. It's got you down. And I'm glad that I'm still around. I know a little something too. Something I've been through just might pertain to you. God will bring you happiness again. God will bring you happiness again. I see you stuck sleeping with your past. She's dead and buried, but you want her to last. And you think you'd better get a grave too. That's not something you should do, 'cause the future will be your lover too, and the past, she's not the jealous
And you always bring us happiness, Jackson. Thank you. That was beautiful. So it is now my honor to introduce our guest speaker this morning, a familiar face for many of you, but for those of you who may not be aware, today our speaker is Reverend Dr. Betty Campbell Henderson. Dr. Betty began her spiritual journey when she was a student at Quaker College a few years ago. She discovered science of mind in 1975 while attending a service there, and that led her to be taking the coursework and becoming a licensed religious science practitioner. And for those of you who have been in the movement for a while, she was also a student of Dr. Vitura Papke's, which she's renowned. And anyway, in 2012, Dr. Betty's practitioner status became practitioner emeritus. She was ordained as a minister of religious science in 1995, and in 2002 received her Doctor of Divinity. Got a few little things going there for her, doesn't she? She is presently the owner and director of Soul Rays Limited. One more thing that the Henderson she came to this Center for Spiritual Living Prescott when she married Dr. Robert Henderson, and they worked here together. At that time, she became the director of education until their retirement. And so it is my great honor to introduce my friend, my teacher, and my mentor, Reverend Dr. Betty Henderson.
Thank you, Don. Woo, it's fun to be here. Whoopee! And I'm so happy you're applauding yourself, because that's what this is all about. It's about me, myself, and I, and we, ourselves, and you. This is what this is about. And thank you, Jackson, and happy birthday. You are such a delight. You are always so supportive. And life is good because he's here, right? Yeah. Well, I have notes, but who knows if I'll follow them. Spirit knows, though. I want to say thank you, though, to those of you who got the word that I would be speaking and made the journey here. And I want to thank all of you who I don't know, and I hope I get to know. And I want to honor my friends from Phoenix, Joseph and Beth Gross, and they brought me today this ribbons to honor our friends that we are seeing every single day on the news. So I'm just so happy that I can share with you, too, this lovely dress. I was told I should share the symbol and what it's all about. It's the very first time I've ever worn it. It was made specifically for me by a former Cambodian college student who lives in Boston, Massachusetts. She made it for me to wear in a ceremony that is a coming of age ceremony for young girls by the Cambodian tradition. And isn't it beautiful? It's and you know, all of this is hand sewn. You know, a lot of times when you buy things today that have sequins on it, they've been glued on, but this is all sewed on. The scarf was given to me by a student in Phoenix, probably 20 years ago when I started doing women's groups. And the pin that's here is a brooch that has a picture of the Buddha on it. And while I was in Boston for that ceremony, the next day, 4 Buddhist monks did a ceremony and honored me and gave me this. They thanked me for teaching their students. So I wanted to get that out of the way. So how many of you here think that your life would be a little better if you prayed more? Well, folks, I got to tell you, you're praying all the time. Every word, every thought, every action that you are taking is a prayer, regardless of whether it's positive or negative. Ernest Holmes said, you know, when somebody was getting ready to say something about being sick, he said, whoops, whoops, whoops. Are you sure you want the consequences of about what you are about to say? Now, that's my paraphrase. But we get it, don't we? Do you think in that moment, before you say something, think something, or do something, about what the consequences might be? You know, I love this symbol. And for those of you who are not familiar with science of mind, religious science, that symbol is the best teaching tool I know. Because that symbol tells us exactly what life is all about. That circle there represents all of us. It represents the one, the divine. And we are all part of that one. There is no time, no place that we're not part of that one. The top, now it breaks it down into the aspects of the divine. And the top part of it is first cause, spirit, making its move into the subjective, impersonal law that we call soul. And then the bottom part is the manifestation, is what it becomes. So, you know, if I like to think about nature, because nature is our great teacher, that when you go out and plant a corn seed, you know that you're going to get corn when you plant it. Because what's in that seed is what will come. It is placed into the soil. And I like to play around with words. So soil is the soul. But if you take the I in the soil and curve it, you get a U. You get soul. And I like to think that when I and you come together, we are one. And so when that creative process is taking place, God, in its creation of us, gave us free will. Gave us free will. First of all, you know, we had that wonderful garden that we could love and feel good all about. But then, you know, we got into thinking, well, I can do better than God can. Yep. And so we started to get out of sync, get out of harmony. And when we're in harmony, there is only love. There is only joy. There is only peace. But when we get into thinking that we can have all of it all the time and not looking at balance and harmony, you know, we can look around. Today we are seeing our forests die. We're seeing our rivers and our oceans polluted. We're seeing all kinds of things from what we created by thinking that we can take control. And God just said, okay, but I love you anyway. But I love you anyway. I'm going to have to pull out my glasses, I think. Nope. Ernest Holmes said in his Science of Mind textbook, page 279, if we know that the power which we are dealing with is principle. Now, what is principle? Principle never changes. It never changes. So when we know that what we're dealing with is principle and not personality, personality is favoritism. I gotta get a drink out of my cloudy water. It's got lemon in it. When I awakened this morning, I couldn't talk. So I best be a good girl and allow my voice to come from my diaphragm and not my vocal cords. If we have a real embodiment that we can demonstrate, now embodiment to me is a wonderful word. You know, I have to admit, I never heard it until I took Science of Mind classes. But embodiment means every cell, every fiber, every organ, every part of us feels it. Feels it. And that's when we demonstrate, when we feel it, when we absolutely know the truth. If we feel lack or feel poor, without friends, without opportunity, we should be sure to erase from our consciousness the sense of lack. Erase. Erase. Just wipe it away. In my classes that I've had in the past, I've handed out erasers. And I said to the students, this is the best tool you will ever have. Because whenever you make a mistake, you have the opportunity to erase it and know another way. We talk about forgiveness. Well, God forgives us all the time, whereas God just says, I love you. Do whatever you want to do. I love you. But we ourselves know deep inside of ourselves when we made a mistake. And a mistake is when we harm ourselves, someone else, taking it away from someone else. So when I talk to clients about prayer and they're saying, oh, I want you to pray for me to get this. And I say, well, let's talk about this. So let's take a house, because that's been the most recent one that came to me. I want a new home, and it's so expensive, and it's so this, and it's so that, and I know what I want, and I just can't afford it. And they went on and on. I said, hold it. So I would like for you to share with me, when you're in that home, how do you want to feel? And so we talk about, I want to feel safe. I want to feel loved. I want to feel without fear. I want to feel like I can just give. And so we go on with these things. And I said, so, do you trust God? Do you trust God? Well, some people say, well, I don't know if there is a God. And I said, well, that's valid. So what do you do? Do you believe in? Well, I believe in that tree out there. Okay, well, tell me about it. And so they tell me about how that tree came from a seed, it was nurtured by the soil, it grew to be a tree, and that it is being what it's supposed to be. That's interesting. Well, that's life, isn't it? That is the creative process, and that is you. And in order for you to be who you are, you have to start right here. You have to come to love yourself. Oh, you can see where I'm going with this, you know. Well, I think that's very egotistical to love myself. Oh, really? Do you think that tree loves itself? That tree is doing what it was created to do. Are you doing what you were created to do? And he goes, well, I'm working hard. I said, so tell me about it. Well, as we go through all this conversation, we are defining just what it is that we really want to feel, and how we can be that by really embracing ourselves and honoring whatever that creative process was. Are you hearing it? Okay. So, Ernest goes on to say, this thought must meet the, wait a minute, back up. We erase thought from consciousness by pouring in an opposite thought. Now, I know you've heard of affirmations. You can, in this building, you walk around, you'll see affirmations everywhere. You put out in front of you, in your thought process, what you want and not what you don't want. See, this young man who wanted a house was thinking of all the things he didn't want instead of what he wanted. He wants the house, but. So you got to erase those buts. Erase them. And how do you do that? Well, one of the things that one of my favorite mystics, and her name is Florence Scovel Shinn. She wrote in her book, The Magic Path of Intuition is the path of the heart. Now today we're hearing a lot of things about the heart, and that's where feeling is. The heart is the feeling process that we kind of ignore. And it's where our intuition comes from. And in trusting our intuition, we then are guided by the divine, by that source who's going to lead us to the direction that we want to be. So when we're treating or praying for something, my feeling is to pray for what you want to feel. If it's a house, it's a relationship, how do you want to feel in that relationship? And honor it in yourself first. Start being that. Being that. And put up around you an affirmation that will remind you constantly, oh, I just had that negative thought. And believe me, this is what I've been working on lately. Because every time I turn on the TV, I get to see what I don't want to see. I get to hear what I don't want to hear. And people can say, well, you got to be aware of what's going on. Not until I'm strong enough to handle it. It's like the alcoholic. When he or she surrenders to its higher power, they don't go to a bar. They don't hang out in a bar. They hang out with people who are not drinking and who are affirming them on their journey until they're strong enough to be around it. And so, of late, I've had to turn all those things off, but I still want to know what's going on. So what I do now is when I turn on my cell phone to get the news, I pray consciously. I ask, please guide me. Help me to stay centered and knowing that every single person is God. They're a part of God. Even though their actions are not showing what we think of the God self, they are. The seed of their being is still God. So we work consciously of trying to see that seed within them. I was watching a YouTube thing, this has been a year ago, and in it was a shaman from Hawaii who is well known for loving and blessing all things. And there was a woman in the audience who said, but how can I love and bless somebody I know that's evil? And you know what the shaman said? He said, whatever that person is acting out as, you can always go to the fact that when he exhales, flowers bloom. So in other words, when our exhalation, we are putting out there carbon dioxide, and that's what the plants need. So if we can find one thing, and if your mind can't think of that one thing, think of that. That person's breath is nourishing a flower someplace. And say, thank you, God. Thank you. Thank you for that opportunity to realize once more with real eyes that I do not uplift the energy of the earth by criticizing and judging others. I do nothing but make it worse. So as I am supporting these people, I am also supporting those people who are the aggressors, supporting their spirit to be uplifted by seeing that every breath they exhale, they are giving life to a flower, a plant. I know it's a stretch, folks, but I can tell you that that's what this stuff is all about, is stepping out of the comfort in life. It's not easy to risk, to have the courage to stand and be accountable for the truth. It's not easy. But your heart calls it. And I'm going to tell you, once you know a truth principle, you can never lie to yourself again, because it's always going to percolate up saying, you better think that over again. Because truth is the most powerful force. It is the most powerful force, and we are here to serve. We are here to vibrate higher and greater things. My friend, I didn't meet him when I was in Albuquerque, but I just love Father Richard Rohr. He's a Franciscan priest, and he has a center in Albuquerque. And of course, I love St. Francis. I try to say that prayer about at least 2 or 3 times a week. But he says that God desires that we have intimacy with God. To be intimate with God. Now, what does that mean? It means to be vulnerable. And when we are in a relationship with somebody, we want to be vulnerable in order to get to know and bond with each other. But you know, our fear, we build this wall. We build this wall around us, and we say, well, I'll let you know this about me, but I won't let you know that about me, and I will protect myself. And what we're doing is we're actually destroying ourselves, because that intimacy is how we grow. And God deserves us being intimate with him or her or it. And so that's what meditation for me is. When I'm meditating, and believe me, I meditate in many different ways, and there is no just one absolute way. Meditation is being one with the source and coming to a balance in yourself. So after I broke my leg and I was told that, you're going to have to exercise every single day, or you're going to be crippled, or you're going to be this or that, I put up in my dining room, took out the dining room suit, I put a ballet bar, and so this is part of my meditation. I go to that bar, I stretch out, and I get one with my body. I thank my body, my fingers, my toes, my legs. I thank my body for all that it is and all that it does, because it's a manifestation of God. And as I do that, it leads me into doing some yoga and then going to my chair and looking at my altar, in which I have a Native American flute that I love to listen to. And then I get to that space of synchronicity with my head, my heart, my soul. And I know that is conscious meditation. We go around and unconsciously do things, and we're still always talking with God. And when I came up with the topic, hello, there's no one here right now, but if you will leave your name, I thought about God and how God is always speaking to us, and we're not listening. Attention. Well, I don't know what I did with it, but I had a picture. And the picture is, and I know all of you have seen this picture, of Jesus standing at the door, knocking. Have you not seen that picture? Well, it's a beautiful picture. He's standing in this before a beautiful wooden wall. Now, my good friend Marcia, she made me aware that that door doesn't have a doorknob. That God is always listening, knocking, but we have to open the door. We have to open ourselves up to God in order to feel the presence. And the presence is being present in this moment. Being aware. When you are present to each other and you acknowledge each other, you are present to the divine. You are being present to the divine. And you hear that word namaste all the time. It's a beautiful word. I think my husband started using it first in this philosophy way back in 1975, 78. And what it means is I honor that place in you where the whole universe resides. I honor that place in me where the whole universe resides. And when you honor that place in me and I honor that place in you, we are one. Namaste. Namaste. So I have to be on time. And so would my friend Jackson, so just to kind of go over a little bit real quick, be conscious, folks. Stay awake. Think very honestly and lovingly about what you are about to say or what you are about to do. And ask yourself, is there another way? Is there another way? And if there is, work at it. Work at it. Create a time that you can dedicate to being in prayer and in meditation. You will see your life change if you do it, I guarantee you. Our good friend, and he is a good friend. I found the picture. But our good friend Thich Nhat Hanh, a Vietnamese monk, taught being mindful in the moment leads us to compassion. Compassionate behavior to and for all life. Think about that. For when we are compassionate, we are creating a world that works for everyone. Compassion. In his book, Call Me by My True Names, he has this poem, and it's called For Warmth. I hold my face between my hands. No, I'm not crying. I hold my face between my hands to keep my loneliness warm. 2 hands protecting, 2 hands nourishing, 2 hands to prevent my soul from leaving me in anger. Namaste. I stand before you. I stand with you. I stand for peace. I stand for love. I stand for joy. And I know that in this very room right now, the peace, the joy, the love that resonates in every heart is the true nature of who we are. It is divine. It is peace. It is joy. And I celebrate right now the awareness that what we think, do, and be is being guided and directed by our Creator. That one cause, that one purpose, to live in harmony, to be a joyful, supportive, and compassionate essence. That's who we are. I know that. I know that for the Centers for Spiritual Living here in Prescott. I know that for their new interim minister who's coming forth to work and be and serve, that their purpose is love, and that the healing that has taken place is released to the nothingness from which it came. And so all is well, all is well, all is peace, all is joy. And so it is. Amen.
let it be. And we let it be known it's so good I'm not in charge of technology. This is the time of service that we have to give of our treasure, of our prosperity. In the entryway, the gathering spot right as you come in, on a table there is a sparkly box where you can put your donation if it is your day to do so. You can also donate by going to the website, which is Center for Spirit or CSLPrescott.org, or you can do it by texting 844-917-1240. And so at this time, I just ask you to hold your offering over your heart, and whether that's an envelope with money, a check, or your hand, I still invite you to hold it over your heart and affirm with me, divine love in and through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, life.
Clay and I hang out here quite a bit, usually fixing audio equipment. And in those times, we'll talk about music we like, and we are kindred souls when it comes to a little group called Steely Dan. And I was playing this one day, and I think he said, "Man, that could be a CSL song," and it never occurred to me. And like I said, yesterday was my birthday, so I'm giving myself a break. And so, I believe possibly for the first time ever here at CSL Prescott, Steely Dan makes it into service. And to me, the theme is very similar to the other songs I've done today, which is that the scary thoughts that you have, the fearful thoughts that you have, they don't last. And any major dude will tell you that.
Superfine mind has come undone.
Thank you, Jackson.
Well, thank you for humoring me.
It's our pleasure. And so we take a few moments now to welcome any of you who are here for the very first time or maybe haven't been here in a while. If you're visiting, we'd just love to have you if you so desire. To stand up, tell us your name and where you're from. Hi. Hi, Debbie from Prescott Valley. Right behind you, you'll see beautiful Pearl with an envelope for you. And you are also welcome to stop at the bookstore and look at any used books that might appeal to you. And I know we have someone over here. Welcome, Pam from Phoenix. It's a joy to have you. Wow. Welcome, Donna from Columbus, Ohio. You take the furthest traveled so far. Well, hi, Nancy from Prescott Valley, and welcome, welcome. Anyone else wish to stand? All right. Hello. And hello, Diane from Prescott Valley. Welcome. Where am I missing? Oh, hi. I'm looking right at you, aren't I? Hi, Rhonda. And where were you from? Montana. Well, let's see. How many? Montana, Ohio. Welcome. Draw. I would kind of say a draw. Okay. Did I miss anybody else, Jackson? Okay. Well, I see some eager people ready to join us. They are of the small stature, so let's welcome our Children's Association of Awesomeness. Mom! Hello. Wow. And I know you probably have lots to share.
Okay, so today we played Twister with God. And we actually played Twister, but with God qualities. So, like, red is like love. So it's like spin, 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 put your left foot on love. And then put your right foot on green empathy.
Wow.
Awesome. Anybody else want to share? Estelle wants to share. Hi, Estelle.
Today we learned wherever God is, we are.
Yes. Miss Erin? Is that enough?
That's enough.
Okay. Oh, Meadow?
We talked about God is love.
Okay, thank you. We heard about God is love too. Oh. 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 It is the first Sunday of the month. And so anybody with a March birthday, and we know, sir, I get to give you this from us. Happy birthday, Jackson.
Let's sing happy birthday to everyone.
And anybody who is, Seamus, any other kiddos have birthday this month, we welcome you to stand, and we will sing happy birthday to you. And when we come to names, we know Jack's one. Yes, it's dear loved ones. Thank you.
Here we go. The CSL Tabernacle Choir.
I forgot to mention that Seamus already got his. Miss Grace is standing over there with the practitioners give you a birthday month bookmark, which entitles you to a session with the practitioner. All the names are listed there. You just call one that speaks to you. And happy birthday, March people. And so now, we can all stand and say our closing affirmation and sing ourselves out. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is happening through my mind, my body, and my affairs. I think it, I believe it, I feel it, I know it, I accept it. Thank you, life.